A jury has acquitted a private researcher accused of lying to the FBI about a discredited dossier connected to former President Donald Trump.
Igor Danchenko served as a primary source for documents containing allegations of collusion between the former president and the Kremlin. Jurors determined that Danchenko was not guilty of the 4 counts he faced on Tuesday. This case is the third of its kind tied to what is commonly known as the Steele dossier. All have been brought forward by special counsel John Durham during his more than 3-year review of the FBI's investigation into the Trump campaign.
Joining us now is Monsour Jr. He is also a former federal prosecutor for the Southern District of Florida. He currently represents Igor Danchenko in a civil lawsuit former President Trump brought against him. Franklin, so good to see you here in person. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Just to start, what was your reaction to the verdict?
It's always a nervous thing when someone is put on trial, but this is the outcome that was expected. From the very beginning, the indictment represented an obvious overreach. I think, for anyone that had an objective view of the indictment, the way it was written. And I think that's an important point not to forget, because it raises other questions. Why was the special counsel bringing cases like this? Why do we have 2 acquittals in a row? And looking at the nature of the allegations themselves really helps people understand that this case should not have been brought in the first place. And I'll give you an example. The 4 counts that went to the jury, they were all basically alleging that Mr. Danchenko made a false statement to the FBI when he said, I received an anonymous phone call, and I believed the person on the other end of that call was a certain individual, Sergei Millian. And then he added, I'm not sure about that. So then that raises this sort of fundamental question. How can that be a false statement? If I tell you I believe something, but I'm not sure about it, how can that be false? And I've never seen the government bring a case like this, predicate a false statement case on someone's subjective belief. It's usually about something that's verifiable, a fact. Someone lies about a fact. And then that fact has to be material to the government's case, has to be meaningful. So then that brings the other question. How can that statement be meaningful? If I tell you I believe something, but I'm not sure of it, how can that be material? I'm basically telling you, don't rely on me for this information. I'm telling you, this is just my belief. So the fact that this entire prosecution was predicated on that type of allegation, it's a case that should have never been brought in the first place. And the jury got it right, so that's extremely fortunate. But what's unfortunate is Mr. Danchenko and his family should have never had to go through this experience to begin with. And I think that's something that shouldn't be forgotten. And you have to start questioning the motivations for the prosecution to begin with. You're supposed to do justice. You're supposed to look to see if there's a crime there. You're not supposed to find a crime at all costs, which is certainly what seemed to be the case here.
Danchenko, you're representing him in a separate civil suit that's not as widely known. Explain that for us.
Right. So Donald Trump filed a civil complaint that had a civil RICO, was the primary allegation, I suppose, against a lot of defendants. It included Hillary Clinton, it included the DNC, it included James Comey, and it included Mr. Danchenko and several other people. And it was really a wide-ranging complaint, and it really read more like some sort of, a political complaint or manifesto or something like that. It didn't read a lot like a normal civil complaint. The issue was that case was dismissed, right? The judge dismissed that case with prejudice. Trump's attorneys have filed a notice of appeal. They indicate they are going to appeal the case. So they already have sort of, a deep hole to get out of to overcome that dismissal. But that hole just got deeper because that complaint borrows a lot of facts from the Sussman indictment and from the Danchenko indictment. And now both of those indictments have ended in full acquittal. So it's yet it's almost like misery loves company, right? The complaint was predicated largely on flawed indictments to begin with, and now all 3 have fallen.
Do you think yesterday's verdict could have any impact on Mr. Trump's case against Danchenko?
Well, so the case has been dismissed, and certainly it will have an impact on the appeal, I believe, because it's just another indication that the case was meritless. I mean, the judge in dismissing that civil complaint, rendered I believe a 65-page opinion demonstrating, sort of bit by bit why the complaint was flawed to begin with. But this just throws gasoline on that, right? Because they were once the Sussman indictment was dismissed, they were heavily touting the Danchenko indictment, certainly hoping for a different outcome. But now that indictment's ended in acquittal as well.
Well, congratulations to your client and, as you say, his family who have been suffering through all this. Franklin Monsour Jr., thank you.
Thank you very much.